I really wanted to have this discussion just off the cuff, meaning off of my brain. So let's get into it. Hello, welcome to my booktube channel. This is Loc'D and we're gonna talk about The Passing, written by Neilah Larson, in addition to The Vanishing Half that was written by Britt Bennett. The main theme of both books is colorism. So before we get into my thoughts and me trying to conceptualize what each book is about and how it relates to the Black community, I want to first talk about the books. So The Passing is a book that introduces you to two main characters, and they're two women who are coming from the same community, but then life happened and they split. And upon that split, these two women who are white passing have two different lives. So one of the women, she is married to a Black man and they are doing life together. And the other woman, she is married to a white man and they're living life together. However, the other woman husband is not sure or don't know that she's Black. It can happen. I'm not gonna say that it won't happen. So The Vanishing Half is a story by Britt Bennett that follows two sisters, and something terribly happened to their father, and they're living in this town where it is majority very fair-skinned Black people. And the Black people in this town have these beliefs that the lighter you are, the closer you are to godliness, the closest you are to whiteness. So these two sisters had enough of living in this town and all the rules that it had. So they said, you know what, we're gonna head out. So they get this plan and they peace out and they leave in the middle of the night, and they didn't tell their mom anything. And then for the rest of the book, you follow their paths, what happened to them and what happened to their daughters. Granny, do you mind if I share this story when I do the book review?
Not at all.
I'm doing this video where I'm talking about this Black classic. You may have heard of it. This book called Passing. Have you ever heard of it? So it's written by this lady named Neilah Larson, and I think Neilah Larson or something like that, and she's talking about pretty much like the time when you were a little girl or teenager of Black women who were passing as white. And she talks about how the community, or her Black community, thought about that. And I just wanted to know, like, what was the air, or what were people thinking about at that time when they were around Black women who passed as white.
I don't know if anybody passed it as white, but I do know that, you know, growing up, people that was lighter than I was always seemed to get a better play than people that you know, with dark skin.
Yeah. Did you find it to be difficult at all, like, to watch that?
No.
No.
You know, it was in my circle. It was no big deal.
Okay.
Because I had a brother that was half white, and you know, it just seemed like the people that lighter friends always got special privileges, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. In the book, they talk about this woman, and she pretty much abandoned her Blackness and married this white man, and he doesn't know that she's Black at all. And he calls her Nig, and she was around her other Black friend, or a Black woman who passed as well. And she was like, why did he call you Nig? And then he told the story of, oh, I keep telling her if she gets any darker, she's gonna look like an N-word. And then she was just laughing about it. And I was just so shocked how someone would allow someone to talk to them like that.
It happened all the time back then, baby. It wasn't a big deal.
Whew.
I mean, it was
Yeah, that's true.
White people always thought they had much rights. They had more rights. I don't know who told them that they was better than any other race. But
Yeah.
they've always thought they were the dominating race, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just wanted to talk to you about that, Granny, because it was just very interesting reading this book. And I was like, well, this is not my time.
She's speaking the truth.
Yeah, she was. She was. Whew, that's crazy.
You young people wouldn't have made it back in the day.
Whew, we wouldn't have made it, huh, Granny?
Stuff that we had to tolerate, you all wouldn't tolerate that a minute.
No, no.
For us, it was a norm, you know?
Yeah, well, I think that's good how times is changing.
Not fast enough, but at least it's changed.
Yeah, not fast enough. You can say that again, Granny. You can say that again.
I remember my first job I had cooking for this white lady. She don't talk about you couldn't eat out of this, you know, you had to do a certain thing, you had to do this, you had to do that. She couldn't even wash her own behind. We had to still, you know, I had to cater to her. You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I always, when my time to eat, I would eat out of her good time. I wasn't thinking about getting no other plates.
Yep.
I didn't know she had got better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, that's life. You learn, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would be able to tolerate that now, knowing better.
Yeah. Yeah.
But back then, that was the norm, you know.
Mm-hmm. I really wanted to talk about this story and hear your thoughts, because there's another book that was just written by this Black woman. It came out last year, called The Vanishing Half, and I got my mama reading it. And it's about these two twins who are living in Louisiana, and how their parents was telling them that they need to be as light as possible and they can't be darker, and all the privileges that they would get being light-skinned. And it just really reminded me of that book. And it's just so sad how not all Black people, but there are Black people who believe that the closest to whiteness, the better you are. And it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah. Black people gave people with lighter complexion more hell than the white did.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have white, you don't belong to the white race, you don't belong to the black race. You just kind of stand alone.
Mm-hmm. And that's sad that, you know, biracial people have to choose. And it's like people can't just be themselves.
Yep. It's so much nicer.
It would be so much nicer. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, Granny. I love you.
Okay, I love you too.
Okay. Bye. So there you have it, folks. I don't even know how to say more than that. I feel like my grandmother is very wise, and I am so blessed to have her in my life. And I hope that you were able to understand where she was coming from, because I think she's 100% valid in the way that she feels. My grandma is almost 80 and she's lived a life, and I love her dearly, and I need to stop talking about her or I will cry. I will caption everything that she said. Everything in this video will be captioned, because I don't want anyone to not catch what my grandmother is saying. And I thank her for her permission on letting me talk about this and to share this with you guys. But I just thought it would be really interesting of getting a intergenerational conversation of colorism back then and now. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Put a plant in the comment section below, and have a wonderful day, and just be reflective, and let me know your thoughts on colorism and how it affects your community, because colorism, it affects the Black diaspora all over the world. It is a nasty byproduct of colonialism. Talk to your grandparents if they're still here, or other people in your family, or the younger ones about it, so that we are educating ourselves and working against dispelling all of those nasty, toxic narratives about who's lighter and who's darker. Bye.